Interesting if he does. Now, fighting climate change isn't just about developed countries like France and the US. Christian Aid is one of the many charities at this One Planet conference, and its a spokesperson has said that the missing piece of the jigsaw is the funding to help the world's poorer countries access clean energy so that they don't follow the fossil fuel-powered path of the rich world. And that is something that I've been talking about with Navin Singh Khadka, the World Service Environment Correspondent.
There has also been criticism that France, although it has hosted this meeting, France is still involved in investing in fossil fuel investments. So that question, how does it do it? That is definitely there. And then again, like it's one country that is, again, we know that it happened in Paris, so definitely France's relation with that treaty would be quite close. It's its darling treaty. So, but then again, like when it comes to implementation of that treaty, it's a huge, huge business which is yet to be thrashed. I always say that it's just a vague agreement that was signed, but the detail of how it will be implemented and who will verify that is supposed to happen next year in 2018. That's when that nut has to be cracked.
What about China? Because, of course, it's a huge stakeholder in this.
So China, again, on the home front, China has been applauded, China has been congratulated for doing so many things. But again, China is elsewhere investing in fossil fuels, many coal plants elsewhere in Africa, or, say, for instance, the Balkans, where I was quite recently in Bosnia. We reported on the coal industry. The Balkans, they're seeing a lot of Chinese investment there coming up. So that is there. And not to forget, the China thing is, China has a different kind of battle with developed countries. So what China and India, these emerging economies, say is that you, developed countries, have already done your bit. You have got the chance to develop. Now it's our turn. So you have to make those massive cuts in emissions, not us. That is still there. That battle is still there. Just last month, when the UN had this climate conference, that argument once again surfaced, and it was quite serious.
So developing countries effectively want the chance to carry on developing.
So it depends. For instance, if you talk about India, China, as I said, or there's this grouping called BASIC, so it's Brazil, South Africa, China, India. They always have had this argument. And again, like there are some countries they say that if they got the right money, what is known as the technical know-how, technical transfer, the knowledge transfer, then they're happy to change gear and get into the clean energy. But mind you, there are countries that have huge deposit of coal resources, for instance, their own oil resources, deposits. And they argue that we have to use what we have because they are cheap deposits, they're cheap resources, and it's very expensive when we talk about. And then the technology transfer, which they expect from developed countries, it runs into trillions of dollars. And that is, again, another battle. They've always been arguing that, can you give us that money? Can you give us that technical transfer? That's the question. Developed countries say we have been doing so, but again, developing countries say no, it's been double counted. Regular aid as being counted as climate aid. It's not happening. So again, this time also we saw in Paris, and it's not going to go away anytime soon.
Navin Singh Khadka there. We're talking about energy. Let's keep the